Hello, I'm Dango Rose. Welcome to the Mountaineer Podcast, where everybody's listening. The Mountaineer brings you the latest news of the Peak to Peak region, in print, online, through our podcast, social media, and special publications. Now, listen in to the latest news of the area with our local journalists.
Hello there, everybody. My name is Jamie Lammers, and welcome to Music of the Mountains, where to be and what to see, brought to you by the Mountaineer Podcast. I hope everyone's doing okay over the last couple of days, as Xcel Energy has implemented a power shutdown in order to anticipate the incredibly high and intense winds this weekend. The National Weather Service, as of Friday, December 19th, has implemented a particularly dangerous situation designation, which has never been implemented in Colorado for fire danger. Thousands and thousands of homes have been affected by the power shutdown, and I wanted to wish everybody who is affected by that power shutdown well. Keep yourselves safe and keep yourselves aware. Of course, the regular Music of the Mountains podcast episode was shifted by a day because of this particular power shutdown. We'll be back to our regular schedule next week. Today, I'm bringing back a guest that I've interviewed before on the Mountaineer podcast in a slightly different context. Today, I'm bringing on Richard Schein of Beyond Comprehension, a new duo that he is a part of. I interviewed him previously for his solo performances, but now he's performing guitar and lead vocals with fellow guitarist and harmony vocalist Steve Scheidker. They'll be performing a duo show at Very Nice Brewing in Gilpin very soon. So I've brought Richard on to talk about that show.
So, do you mind just introducing yourself real quick?
Sure. My name's Richard Schein, and I'm with the band Beyond Comprehension. There's two of us, actually, so duo maybe. And we're playing up in Gilpin at the end of the month, so look forward to that. So, willing to, share whatever you want to know about me.
Yeah, well, I'm curious about how the duo got started in the first place.
Well, I was playing solo stuff, and I met Steve playing pickleball. And we had him over one night, and he said he played some guitar and did some singing, so we started fiddling around. And next thing you know, I've invited him to a gig of mine, and, his specialty is kind of harmony, so he kind of does some nice harmonies. So we did that a couple times, and then we kind of ended up just, merging together and playing in breweries, restaurants. We've played at some senior homes. Whoever wants to have us, we'll play.
For sure.
That's how that started.
Very cool. Yeah, and so in terms of what were you and Steve kind of doing, because, I've interviewed you for your solo stuff before, or what were you and Steve kind of doing in terms of solo stuff and or projects before Beyond Comprehension?
Before Beyond Comprehension, well, let's see. I don't think Steve was doing anything, actually, before he met me. This was the first experience for him performing in public. I was an elementary teacher for 32 years. I did a lot of music in my classroom and actually did children's entertaining for like 20 years. So during that time, I didn't do any adult stuff. And I was writing all my own material and stuff. And I had the opportunity, I applied for a grant to go to Japan. You had to have why are we going to send you to Japan? So I said, well, I'll write songs about Japan that, for people can use when they're teaching children, and then I'll record them. Well, I never recorded anything before. Maybe I only wrote a couple songs. But I ended up getting chosen to go. So it was like a 3-week all-expense-paid trip to Japan. And I came back and put together my first children's, at that time it was a cassette tape, called Shine On Children. And I did that for, like I said, 20 years, and I have like 4 CDs that I put out. I played all over, everywhere, out of state, all the festivals in Colorado, then we actually moved part-time to Arizona for 7 years, and I ended up getting in a band down there and started getting back into playing adult music. I was kind of a little bit burned out and I retired from teaching, so I was kind of done playing children's music and started doing adult music with this band. So we had a lot of fun. In fact, I go down there once a year and get together with them and play, we do a gig. So that's kind of my musical background. I started playing when I was 13, in garage bands and coffee house and stuff like that in college. And so that's me.
Gotcha. And so this is a guitar and vocal led duo, I'm assuming?
We both play guitar. We both sing. He mostly harmony, I mostly melody. And I play harmonica also. So we do a lot of like Neil Young, Bob Dylan. There's not a lot of Beatles harmonica. There's some, but we do a lot of Beatles just because we grew up with the Beatles, love the Beatles. Everybody loves the Beatles. Who doesn't like the Beatles? It's kind of funny to talk to like 20s and 30-somethings. And yeah, I've heard of the Beatles before, but it's kind of funny how their music is all, We kind of focus on, we play a big variety of music. So we'll do pop, of course, a lot of oldies, country and blues. So we just try to play like good songs, songs that we like, and usually they're pretty popular and most people like them.
And so you guys also, I'm sure since, you've prioritized writing songs in your solo work, that this is also an original song duo as well.
I have a couple original songs that we do sometimes. I haven't done really a lot of, most of my writing with kids stuff. So I have a couple original songs that are, worth people listening to. One is the Pickleball Blues, which is, I consider to be the best pickleball song. You go on YouTube and listen to everything. In fact, you can go to YouTube and put my, Richard Shine Pickleball Blues, and it'll come up as a video in there that I made with the song. I have a song that I wrote. I have a nephew that died in Afghanistan, and I wrote a song for him called "He Was Red, White, and Blue," and that's also on YouTube. You can put that in, pull that up. It's kind of a little patriotic song dedicated to him. So I'll do that. I'll do that sometimes. Pickleball song. We're not a big original band. More like covers. I don't. Me personally, I like listening to people like playing covers. I don't particularly. If they throw an original song in once in a while, that's okay if it's any good. But when I go out and listen to music, I like to hear like a cover band or people doing covers. That's just a personal preference. The other thing is we're all live music. There's no pre-recorded stuff or pre-recorded bass or drums or stuff like that. It's just all live, which is another preference of mine. If I go hear music, I like to hear live music. I don't want to hear somebody singing karaoke.
Fair enough.
I'm pretty opinionated, aren't I?
and that's probably, I think that's a good thing, right? Especially for somebody who has played music for a long, long time and somebody who's built up that repertoire. And, I think you got to be, to a certain extent, opinionated to kind of find your style and your preferences.
Well, it's just, everybody has their preferences. Some people like, I know some of my friends, they like to hear somebody has like some bass in the background and drums and, it sounds more full. Like if I'm going to go hear James Taylor, I'd like to hear James Taylor and his guitar. That's all. Forget the band. It's all polished up, That's just, I like to cut it back to basics.
So there's always been something about just that base level of the vocals or the instruments that are necessary, and that has always kind of stuck out to you in performances and in listening to the music that you like most.
Yeah, agreed.
Amazing. So what has stuck out about arranging and performing these cover songs with Steve compared to arranging and performing them on your own? Is there a different process in that way, or is it a similar process? Or?
Well, we have really different tastes. I like more mellow kind of stuff, soft rock, stuff like that. He's kind of more into not heavy metal, but Leonard Skinner and Doobie Brothers, that kind of music. So there's kind of always a push and pull on choosing songs, You both have to. There's a number of songs that I do that I say, okay, let's do this one now. He's like, it's not really my cup of tea. And, I have to force myself to kind of put songs in that he likes to do that I probably wouldn't do on my own. So usually one of us will, introduce what do you think about doing this song here? And then we'll kind of see how it fits, One of the big criteria with him is that, there's some harmony stuff that he could do. Some songs we don't do because there's really nothing for him to do on it. It's not a song that has any harmony on it.
And so, what has stuck out to you, especially about being able to perform live with Steve and perform in that duo capacity?
Well, I think it's a little easier with playing with somebody else than by yourself. By yourself, you kind of, I wouldn't say the pressure's on you, but the pressure's on you. Somebody else, especially when he's singing harmony, it gives me a little bit of leeway where I'm going with my singing. Of course, you have somebody, to gauge things with, help set up all the equipment and that kind of physical stuff that has to, as part of the whole thing, has to be done. Sometimes, especially when we go up to Gilpin, or they're going up together. And so, we're, not only bandmates, but we're friends also. So it's kind of nice to have somebody to share that with.
For sure. And is there anything that you hope people will be able to take away from any of your performances when they come to see you live?
Well, I like them to feel like they had a good time. They enjoyed the music that we chose for that night. We God, I don't know how many songs. We got 200 or 300 songs, so we can probably do about 40 to 45 in a performance. So there's not really too much rhyme or reason which ones get picked for that night. We try to, if we got a kind of a good following that comes along, so we don't, want to. If it was completely different people, we could play the same thing all the time. But we got a lot of same people come to our shows, so we try to mix it up a little bit. I played somewhere a couple weeks ago, and somebody came up to me and said, "God, I really liked your playlist. That was great." So when you get that kind of feedback, people kind of enjoy the music, and you see what kind of reaction you're getting. Every crowd's a little bit different. So sometimes you have a crowd that's really into things, and you get clapping and things like that. And sometimes you have a crowd that's like into talking and having a good time with their friends, and we're just kind of in the background there. So you can usually tell if people are having fun. So our big criteria is have people come out and have a good time, enjoy the music. That's the main goal.
For sure. Yeah, and I don't know. I'm just. Is there anything else in general that you want to make sure is talked about in regards to your performances coming up, or the duo, or anything else we didn't talk about?
Well, when I was growing up, my dad was a band leader in a burlesque house. Well, I come from a musical family.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, I don't really have anything else. We're looking forward to coming up in Gilpin. I hope they get, we talked to the owner because they have the Netherlands bar too. And, I think they're talking about there was another space that they were going to rent up there and get things rolling. I don't know what their timeline is. So we look forward to going up there too. So keep an eye on their website and so see when they're going to be reopening.
Sure. Yeah. And I don't know. I think those are the big things I wanted to make sure I asked on my end.
All right. What's your musical background?
Oh man, I mean I've been singing all my life. I've been playing guitar since high school, ukulele since high school. I'm more of a campfire guitarist than anything, but still, I enjoy it. I could play what I want to play, and that's good enough for me for now.
Well, that's the most important thing. The Beatles all played ukuleles too.
Oh yeah.
They would sit around and get out their ukuleles and just mess around. I got another friend who's a big ukulele player. He may come join us sometime. He even has a bass ukulele, which sounds pretty good. I might ask him sometime to come join us and sit in for a couple songs or something. He's got about 10 ukuleles. He's like a big ukulele player.
Oh, wow.
I guess since he lives in Superior, they have a big ukulele club there, as somebody was telling me about. Get together once a week and everybody plays. I keep threatening to buy a ukulele, but I haven't done it yet. Or mandolin would be fun too. When I was in college, I was in a band with a guy, and he played the mandolin. We used to do a lot of Seals and Crofts. That's what Dash Crofts played the mandolin. In fact, we used to go to they're both Baha'is, they're religion Baha'i, And we went and saw them in concert one night, and then afterwards the Baha'i community was hosting them. They came over and they invited us to come over and met Jimmy Seals. A nice guy. The thing that people don't know about him, I'm getting off track here.
That's all right.
He was the sax player on the song Tequila. That's Jimmy Seals, the same guy in Seals and Crofts.
Oh.
And his brother is, I forget his first name. His brother was a country star. He passed away about 5 years ago. His first name's left me. But that's Beyond Comprehension in a nutshell.
Amazing. Yeah, those are the big things I think I have on my end involving Beyond Comprehension. So
Well, enjoyed chatting with you.
yeah, enjoyed chatting with you too. Thank you so much for doing this.
Sure, no problem.
Thank you so much, Richard, for taking your time again to talk about your music endeavors and to talk about your duo with Steve Scheidker. Beyond Comprehension will be performing at Very Nice Brewing Company, located at 180 Jankowski Drive in Black Hawk on Sunday, December 27th, 2025, starting at 5 p.m. You can also find Richard Shine's music on his YouTube channel. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in to this week's Music of the Mountains, Where to Be and What to See, brought to you by the Mountain Ear Podcast. Music of the Mountains will return to its regular Friday morning slot next week. In the meantime, be sure to keep an ear out for the next episode of the Mountain Ear Podcast. If you want to support local news from peak to peak, then be sure to head to the mtnear.com and click on the subscribe button in the top right corner of our homepage. From there, you'll get full access to our digital archives and scanned copies of our physical newspaper, and you can choose to receive a physical subscription, sending it to your mailbox, or you can send it to the mailbox of someone that you love. If you're interested in being involved in the newspaper or the podcast in any way, or you have suggestions for us, then be sure to reach out to myself at media@themountaineer.com, my co-host Tyler Hickman at Tyler, Tyler, at themountaineer.com, our editor-in-chief Barbara Hardt at info@themountaineer.com, or front desk at themountaineer.com. Finally, be sure to find us on Facebook and YouTube, on Instagram at mtn.ear, and our podcast wherever you get your podcasts. We'll see you next time. Have a great rest of your day.
It's like a miniature tennis course. Lots of fun. It's sweeping the country. Now this is called the pickleball blues. I got the pickleball blues, my partner's done with me.
The song that you are currently listening to is called The Pickleball Blues. It's a song written and performed by Richard Shine, and you can find this performance of his song on his YouTube channel. Richard will be performing with his duo partner Steve Scheidker as Beyond Comprehension at Very Nice Brewing Company, located at 180 Jankowski Drive in Black Hawk, on Sunday, December 27th, 2025, starting at 5 p.m.
My feet are falling now, she says we're through. I got the pickleball blues, my partner's done with me. I've got the pickleball blues, I got braces on both knees. My drop shot's not dropping where it's supposed to be.
And that's it for our show. Subscribe online to get more access to more news, weekly updates to our community calendar, and a link to our YouTube channel by visiting themountaineer.com. Be sure to use the coupon code PODCAST when subscribing for a 10% discount, only available to our listeners. If you are in the local Peak to Peak area, be sure to pick up a print edition of The Mountaineer at a local business. I'm Dango Rose. Thank you for listening.